Welcome in, y'all, to the Fantasy BS Show. Today is October 28th. We got our Halloween episode. Cheers to y'all. Welcome, Coach Prime. Welcome, whoever Smitty is. Let's go. We're drafting best Halloween or movie characters of all time. Having some fun. We're talking last week. We might talk some D-backs. Your host over here, boys. Boys, your host over here, man. That was, my heart was broken last night. Did y'all watch that game?
I didn't.
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh, dude, it was brutal. We got walked off with a home run in the, I think it was either 10th or the 11th, so it was pretty brutal. But, Smitty, how you doing over there? Let's tell everyone who your character is today. I hope everyone's watching, man. We're dressed up to the nines.
So today I decided to be one of HBO Max's most infamous characters, played by The Weeknd, Tedros from The Idol.
I love it, dude. You're looking fly, dude. How long's that hair in the back, man? That wig's looking good.
Oh man, this wig is fun to work with, but got a little rat tail because that's what the character's known for, physically. So
I love it,
not
man.
that long.
You look good. So, Coach Prime, man, how's Colorado going over there?
It's cold, dude. It's snowing down here. We are in the 20s with snow.
I'm talking more about your football team, man. What are you doing this weekend, man?
What are you talking about, dude? Oh, the Chiefs are coming to town, so.
All right. All right, fair enough. So, boys, let's talk last week. Let's just recap what last week a little bit. Smitty, I want to start with your thoughts, man. What did you think about last week? Because, man, Philly's had a get-right week.
Philly defeated the Dolphins, which low-key was expected. Let's see. And one of my favorite things of last week was Tyson Bagent, a.k.a. Tyson Bad Bitch. Did you see his tattoos? Woo!
Do we have a quarterback controversy?
I hope so. Especially if they potentially get the 101. Oh, that's three. That's three quarterbacks. What a mess.
No, man. All of his routes were so just short and everything. But that, man, go Bears, man. I can't believe that. But that was a wild week, man. And the other two hosts here, me and Cass, we didn't think Philly was going to show out too well. So apologize to the league. Hopefully, no one threw a bet listening to me and Dub Cass over here. So Cass, what are your thoughts of the week?
Yeah, man, that Bears take was good. That was kind of off my radar for stuff to talk
about.
It
was great.
That was very exciting. I think that this week we saw that the Eagles are still the real deal. We saw that the Ravens are definitely still the real deal. They can really step it up when they want to. I think that the Lions, I honestly still think they're a really good team, but I think maybe they're not the elite team that we thought they were. They might be just one tier down from the top notch. And I think that the Chiefs, we always want to say they're the best team in the league, man. We're always looking for someone else to enter into that conversation, be it the 49ers or the Eagles, and even some people were saying the Lions after they beat them in week 1. But, dude, Mahomes has still never played a playoff game on the road, and he's not going to have to do that this year. They're just still dominant as ever. And the last thing we learned this week is that Arthur Smith is an asshole.
Dude, I'm so mad. I get the league median because we were struggling, me and you, for a win last week and a replacement for DK. Fuck you, Arthur Smith. That was some BS, man. But you're right, man. Kansas City is just dominant. We talked last week about NFC versus AFC. Philly just showed their dominance in the NFC, I do believe. But man, the AFC is good. Lamar got right. Lamar got right. So you know what? Maybe they're going to step up into that conversation in Baltimore because that was great. But my number one thought of last week, and I watched these games with Tony, and he just absolutely destroyed my team last week. Just absolutely destroyed it while I was with them. But my takeaway last week is welcome back, Jonathan Taylor. Welcome back, Jonathan Taylor. You all know me. I'm not a big running back guy, but fantasy football's better when we have running backs. And just watching Jonathan Taylor get back on the football field, do what he did, fantasy football's better now. We got more to talk about, more RBs to talk about. But I'm curious of that backfield, how it looks moving forward, because Zach Moss is actually good. So that's kind of my takeaways is AFC showed their dominance, and welcome back, Lamar. Yeah. So last week we had some cool things happen. I thought there were some cool plays around the league, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about, just what our favorite plays were last week, because I thought there was a cool play, and I got some NBA references to it, but I'll shoot mine last. So, Smitty, let's talk about your favorite play last week.
Oh my goodness, the Monday Night Football game was awesome, y'all. I mean, I loved it. We had the Vikings versus the 69ers. Now, at the beginning of the game, literally the first drive, Jordan Addison, he got picked off by Chalamius Ward, and probably 2 or 3 plays later, it was about to be another Travarius Ward Addison pickoff, but Addison took that ball, yanked it back, took it to the house. I love Addison so much. He is officially the Niners slave to me.
I
Love
love that. I love that's your favorite play of the week because you had a text within seconds of that play. What did my text to you say?
Yeah, you pretty much said, Addison might be the real deal because he did step up in almost immediately. So good things for Addison. I still believe in Zay Flowers, so I think this is still a good bet we have going. But geez, Addison's looking great right now.
Addison just figured it out. When I was watching him on the field on that Monday night game, it's just he looked like a true one. He looked like a true one. I know he had a fluke play in there. It was a badass play, but he looked like a true one. And I'm scared, man. I think I'm going to be wearing a LA Rams jersey to a Cardinals game next year. That's for sure.
Oh, I hope so.
But that play. Sorry, Smitty, go.
No, I'm just saying if that's the case because of Addison, I might have to buy an Addison jersey. God, I love the kid.
That's fire. I never thought about getting a Hill jersey with your name on the back of it. But Dubcast, what'd you think about that play? I mean, that play was incredible.
It was incredible, dude. Addison looks like the real deal. I'm kind of thinking of him as Justin Jefferson light as long as Justin Jefferson's on the lineup, But it's if you don't see the number on the jersey, you might get fooled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just a little size difference, that's all. So, Doug, what was your favorite play of the week?
Dude, the one of those plays that kind of caught my eye was Jordan Love in the Broncos end zone. He threw a pass to Romeo Doubs, and it bounced right off of Doubs' hands. It was just up for grabs, and it fell right into Jalen Reed's hands. It was so funny, dude. So I thought that pass was that touchdown pass was hilarious. It was just a lucky touchdown from the sky for Jaden Reed.
For real.
I wanted to give a shout out to your boy Bobo though, in DK Metcalf's absence, because his first NFL touchdown was crazy, dude. He was right on the fucking side of the end zone. He had to, get the jump ball, and while he's in the air, he just gets blown up by the defender, and he's falling out of bounds, and he manages to tap both feet down, just fucking barely, lift his heel and just touch his toe to get that touchdown. I mean, that was like a high level reception, not anyone can make
Toe
that.
tap swag, baby.
For your first NFL receiving touchdown ever, that was crazy.
Beautiful.
I was impressed with Bobo last week. I mean, I was just in general. I mean, he looked like he belonged on an NFL field. That was my takeaway, and I really honestly had never really watched him before. But you're right, dude. That Dobbs Reed play was just. I had to go back and watch that when I saw these notes because I forgot about it. But that play was insane. So
well,
my favorite
play. So since you said you had a really wonky play, I tried to find something that was totally unusual. So
yeah. What I liked, and Tony and I, we laughed at this for a while. So it was a Drake London fumble spike on the end zone where he went out and had the football and it was literally in his hands and literally I thought it was a touchdown. I still view it as a touchdown. They called it a fumble. But what my favorite play about this was, the next play, they literally fumbled, lost the ball, and I looked at Tony, I was like, this is old school basketball. The ball don't lie, bro. That's that was meant to be a turnover right there. That was a fumble out of the end zone. So I thought it was funny, man. I love it. I mean, a spike touchdown would be just incredible, right?
Yeah.
I agree. I think that was a touchdown. Justin Jefferson had a play like that in week 2 or 3 that they called a fumble, and I don't know, man. He spiked it into the pylon. I think it was a touchdown.
That should be a touchdown. They should be able to spike the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm moving on to, we might have a segment moving forward next week just called The Ball Don't Lie, because that was hilarious that it literally was the next play they did that. So, all right, let's move on, man. Let's talk a little bit about some league news and notes here. So, I want to call out the league first and foremost. Smitty has no segment to do this week. Smitty, were there any trades this week? What's up with that? You got anything to report?
I didn't see any trades, and I pray to God I didn't miss any. So, what's up, guys? Come on, we gotta get trading. We gotta get it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're recording late in the week. By the way, it's Saturday, everybody. So sorry about this, but do you think that's because there's no bye weeks and we don't need to really find some fillers, or are we going back into last week from our last pod? I mean, I'll call Triple C out. I don't think I've ever seen a week with no trading in this league since I've been in it. I mean, it's so Triple C.
Yeah, you
Let's
guys could do a trade right now, and then that would break the streak or keep the streak alive.
We do need to get a live trade going at some point. I don't know if I'm ready to do that, but Dub, while I'm talking and hosting, if you think of a trade we can do for Mr. Smitty over here, we go 2-on-1. Smitty will be down for a live trade.
Yeah, I bet he would.
Yeah, if I like it, yeah, let's see.
But last week, guys, so when we look at the standings here, we just keep seeing the same exact thing. I'm getting really sick of talking about this, everybody. It's just Hillary and Tony. And then it's the bottom three with Bryce Smitty and Matty B, and then everyone else is lumped together. And guys, just as a league, can we all step this up? I mean, Tim and Hillary, you guys scored over 1,500 points in this league. Congratulations. But we need to talk about somebody else as we moving forward, I think. I mean, it's just the same exact podcast every week. So congratulations. Nothing to say. You guys are awesome. Your teams are absolutely awesome. And Smitty, I hate you for something, by the way. I hate that you nicknamed your team on a play against Tim's team, because every time I get into do crap like this, I keep looking at your team thinking it's Tim's. I'm like, come on, man. Like, Tim lost. So, yeah. So, thanks for throwing me off there each and every week. But as we look at this, so let's talk about current playoff standings right now. So, guess what? Hillary, Tim, way to go. Scotty. We're always talking about you. You did a lot of transactions last week. Looks like they paid off. Scotty's in the 3 spot. Joe, always love the way you play. You're sitting right there, I believe, in that 4th spot. Tony's been going out there. He had 3 bad beats that he won at the beginning of this year. He's winning trades. He legitimately, Smitty, he beat me last week because Mac Jones went on his team. You sent him Mac Jones. You took a W. He took a W, and me and Cassidy, we took a loss. And Mac Jones was a big part about that. So, Smitty, damn you. I hate you. You killed me.
To be completely honest, I would have never imagined. I would have thought maybe 10, 15 points from the kid, but 30? Doubled my expectations. Jesus Christ. I wish I kept him, frankly.
Well, yeah, his value would be much higher after that performance.
Man.
Yeah. Dude, it's hard. It's hard to trade a starting quarterback. And I know, and Tony and I, we went at it all weekend about this, but I know the scoring format. I get the scoring format. But it is hard to trade a starting quarterback in this league, because I do still believe I always want whoever is going to touch the ball guaranteed to be in my super flex every time. I want guaranteed touches of the ball. So we've got that. But hey, something cool. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the chatter on Monday night, but we had a really, really hardcore game against the median going on. And it was really between Bryce and Jamie.
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, there was, 5, 6, 7 minutes left in the game, and McCaffrey literally didn't have one more touch, and Jamie got the median just slightly, which also I'd like to, I mean, I don't know if I thank you or dish you, but that little beat against the median just put you in a playoff team, while Dub Cass and me were sitting in the 7th spot because of that league median. So, guys, pay attention to it. Median matters. I know when we look at our lineups, we're trying to go against who we're playing, but we also have to realize that the median in this league is about 200 points a week. So if we're not scoring 200, we're going to take at least one loss a week. So what do you guys think about the median being around 200 a week? Cassidy, I mean, that's just like 200-point median. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it just has to do with the scoring setting in this league, and I think honestly it has a lot to do with those half-point first down conversions. That's what's pushing that number up so high, and the tight end premium as well is doing that.
I agree, but it's just we have some really dominant teams in this league right now.
Yeah.
We are really stacked up. The top is so, I mean, they're out there scoring 240 to 260 a week, and those
bring it up. Yeah,
they're mega teams. But Smitty, you got 200 in you this week. You didn't get the median last week. You won with 166. That's why we do the league medium. You're the reason. You got 200 in you this week.
You know what? 100%. Based off of my 2 running backs alone, Kenneth Walker, Jameer Gibbs. Very excited to see them go off. My stack is going to go crazy. I mean, both of them actually. Oh yeah, we ready this week. Sorry, Joe, it's not happening.
Yeah. Well, let's get at it. That's why we play the game. It's going to be funny. But so Cassie, you dropped me a little note that was kind of funny on waivers. But we got the avocado man, DeMarcado. He went over to Dr. John for $23 after Smitty dropped $72.
Yeah. It goes deeper than that, though. You guys have to follow the whole saga where Smitty dropped $72 on this player, went to go see him play live at the fucking football game.
With the Cardinals jersey.
Let me tell you guys something about that.
Watch the dude do nothing, then drop the player. Now the player gets picked up for $20, and he's a pretty good start this week. Looks like it anyway.
I kind of wish I had him going this week, not going to lie. Not going to lie. Smitty, that's a funny saga, man. You play with your heart.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Smitty, you play with your heart, and I absolutely love it, man. You're a man with your own convictions, dude. When you're done, you want to make a move, man. You're a cup bait guy. So, Smitty, let's hear your end of that saga. How do you think DeMarcado goes off this week? And when I say go off for his player, I'm going to say more than 17 points.
Oh, I'm seeing 20, 21 out of him in this league scoring setting. Listen, we got to the game a little early, so I got to see both players practice, or both teams practice. I went straight to the Cardinals side, looked for 31. 31, kick ass out there, kick ass. This guy dropped a pass, and I said, uh-oh. You dropped a pass in practice? Oh, dude, should I take you out the lineup or not? I thought, it's a practice, a little BS practice. I don't think that had anything to do with anything. So I basically had insider knowledge, and that should have told me the coach did not like the fact that he dropped the pass. But in that little practice thing they do, that little run through, and it kind of showed its ass that day. So I'm glad he got back favor. I mean, he should have been started, honestly. I don't even know what Damian Williams was doing out there against the Rams last week or whatever, a couple weeks ago. So yeah, shout out to DeMarcado, shout out for John. He's having a bit of a quarterback problem. I love the fact that he's putting him in the super flex spot. I think that's a good move. Good luck, man.
Dr. John had that really aggressive draft strategy at the beginning of the year where it could have blown up in his face. And you know what? He's been fighting through some wins. Let's go. Let's go. Buy a win. We got, between you and him, we got $105 of fab spent on the avocado. So you know what? I don't even know what I want to see DeMarcado. You know what? Actually, I hope he goes off just for podcast purposes. That would be funny next week. Other things that we got some defenses. People spent up on some defenses this week. So Eagle and Ravens both go for 15. And then we've got a $0 bid on the Chiefs somewhere along there. So Eagles, Ravens, good pickups this week. Who I didn't put on here. So who got the Eagles and who got the Ravens? You boys see, I didn't put my notes on here. Who actually picked them up?
I didn't see either.
All right.
I think Tim got the Eagles.
So I think Tony got one of them because I remember he outbid me. I looked for one of them, but I went ahead and put Atlanta on my squad. He's going against They're going against Bananarama this week, so we'll see where that goes.
So Tony got the Ravens, Tim got the Eagles, and I think those are both solid plays at $15. And we kind of talked about this with Tim's most recent pickup. But if $15 helps you in the week, it's worth every penny. But I just thought I'd throw that in there for comparison. Of the Chiefs were $0, and that's a super strong play. And I think in a vacuum, I'd take the Chiefs for $0 over, Eagles for 15. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out.
That's one of those. Hey, Dub, you're there you go. So that's one of those I think we just overlooked. Like sometimes the league, it's crazy when you go back and look. You're like, why didn't anybody think of that? And that could be a really good play. And then, so as we're looking at the other side of that, your host over here spent a little too much money on a wide receiver that he was a little bit impressed with last week.
Yeah.
And Dub, you can make fun of me all you want, but we did those transactions together, and I even sent you a picture like, should we do this? You're like, yeah, it looks good. But you know what? It was team specific to us because we don't know if DK is going to play. Looks like he is going to play. But I have no problem firing in my lineup after last week if DK does not play this week.
Yeah, we're going to talk about, I think, Bobo a little bit more later. But I did think DK was more hurt than he looks like maybe he is, but you never know. He's got the healthy designation right now, but he's been nursing injuries all year, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm worried he's a decoy this week. And I texted you that last week if he played. I do believe those ribs are serious. I'm going through some back issues, and I'm thinking about what it'd feel like to have your ribs hurting.
I actually really looked into this, and I think it's more the hip stinger. So he's been dealing with the ribs all year, but he's been playing through that and he's been effective. But he took a hip stinger 2 weeks ago, and that can actually really inhibit your ability to push off that leg and to make cuts. Like you lose your explosiveness. And I remember that injury distinctly. I remember Odell Beckham getting that towards the end of his relevance as a premium fantasy option, and I saw it really hinder him. And so those injuries scare me on wide receivers. It might slow him down a little.
Yeah, and I will be honest that I'm going through a hip injury right now, and I text you boys. I actually have to have a hip replacement. If he's going through that hip issue, he cannot push off that. I am telling you, it is having a hip injury, dude. It goes right into your groin. It's the most painful thing ever. So I'm glad we overspent on Babo, or Bobo, or however we want to call it. That's a great name, but you know what? We'll figure it out this week. But let's talk a little bit about high scores, Tony. I witnessed you firsthand have high score of the week. I really hate you. Did anybody look at Tony's lineup going into last week? Legitimately, he should have gone 0-2 last week.
I think he went 100 above projection.
He had no quarterbacks to actually play going into the week. He went out and bought a win with you, Carl. So great trade on both sides of it. And he got high score. I hate Travis Kelce. Absolutely went off. Mac Jones went for 30. Kelce went for 60 plus, I think he ended up at. So absolutely, Tony, I've said this probably 3 to 4 times on this podcast, and we as a podcast, this comes from us. You are buying wins consistently every single week. That is well done. I absolutely love it. But we got to talk with high scores. We got to talk about low scores. Matty B, man, we talked a lot about you on this podcast. I love you're grinding, you're trying. You've had so much bad luck this year. Just keep grinding, brother. I know you're low score at 125. Don't think that as we're calling you out for a low score. We know what you're going through. We've all been there. Keep grinding every single week. So you guys know, you've seen Matty B. When you have a quarterback go down in Superflex, and that was your QB1 where you didn't really have that best second option as a QB, and your number one RB goes out, it's miserable. And that all happened between week 1 and 2 for him. So, hey, Matty B, we understand. You guys got Smitty, you got some words of wisdom for Matty B?
Nothing outside of just keep trying.
Yeah. Keep grinding, keep throwing those trades. Cass, anything you want to say to him?
I'll just say the same thing I always say. Never give up, never surrender.
Oh, yeah, that's what you're going with. I thought it was fantasy football is for stupid people who want to be sad, because that's pretty much this segment.
No, that's the Amari DiMercado saga. That's the fantasy.
So that's okay. I got you there. And then close matchup of the week: Hillary versus Joe. The girls went at it. Hillary keeps winning. I mean, AJ Brown, Walker, Barkley all went off. Smitty, Adrian were pretty close as well. Smitty pulls off a win with 166. Oh, that pisses me off. You won with 166 points. You have no idea how pissed I am. But you know what? Anybody got any words on news and notes for the league? Because now we're going to get into some fun about players we want to talk about.
Cool. Yeah, before we get into that, those close matchups, Smitty and Adrian were super close. I'll give a shout out to Smitty. He made some smart waiver moves. He went and picked up Darrell Henderson. We saw that fab get dropped on Zach Evans, and Smitty was able to sift through the tea leaves and say, I think Hendy's going to be the guy. Got him off waivers for cheap or free, and he went out for 20 points. So
at the cost of Rice,
I think that kind of won the week for him. And then
Rice.
that we saw Jahmyr Gibbs show up this week, and I think that helped push him over the top.
And a little bit more props, Smitty. You told us Henderson was the guy on this podcast last week before we knew the whole extent of everything, and nobody still went for him. And Dub and me were talking about throwing him on the night before, and it kind of got to the point where we went with somebody else, and I was going to throw Henderson on once DK got ruled out, and that was kind of the game plan. and wish we did that the other way around.
He beat us
It
to
just
it.
is what it is.
I
Yeah,
lost
so-
confidence on that one too, to be honest. So I don't know. All that could have went better for all of us. Let's just be honest on that.
Hey, I would like to set up a league poll. Tony, set up a league poll, or maybe someone will do it for us. But did you make that transaction because you got lucky and it was a Rams player, or did you make that transaction because you are phenomenal at looking at depth charts? I think it's because you really know depth charts well, brother. So
No, I'll tell you this because I actually had both, and I wanted to start one of them, but I wasn't sure. So I even put a poll in the league, say, "Hey guys, which of these guys should I start?" And Dubcast over here, he saved the day. So honestly, thank you, Dubcast. That was your doing.
I was on Team Hendy, and I got him in all my leagues before anyone else did.
Boom. See, this guy can't fuck with him. Can't fuck with him.
oh man, I love it. So all right, guys, let's get into some fun. Let's have a little conversation for everybody because this is fantasy football. There's always things that we want to happen. And I want to take some time to talk about trades that we legitimately want to happen before the deadline. You know, this is always a big topic and, you know, people don't usually end up getting traded. But let's make some good solid points for our players as to why they want to be traded. And Smitty, I'm going to give you the mic first. Let's talk a little bit about who do you want to be traded, why, and we're talking about real NFL, not just fantasy football. So a real NFL player, why, how, and kind of what would the trade look like for you?
Oh, to be honest, I didn't really think of what it would look like, but there was a story when Malik Willis was drafted. Ryan Tannehill was like, "Oh goodness, no! I'm not going to teach him anything. I'm not going to show him the ropes. No, I'm going to be the starter for this team. It's going to be me," and he could sit back there and deal with backup duties. I want him off that team so bad. I honestly think it's about time Tannehill finds himself a backup role. I think this is now his Carson Wentz moment. And I want him to go to a contender so that he barely will play. I don't want to see this man play at quarterback, starting quarterback, ever again. I'm sick of the guy. And I cannot wait to see the madness that happens on that team this Sunday. I mean, we got two different quarterbacks. One's a rookie, one's just as bad. And we're gonna see a mess. I can't wait. But for that mess to continue, I need Tannehill gone. So a contender, please pick him up. Put him back there. You know, Eagles, please put him back there. Mariota's trash. I don't even know why he's their backup. But or even having Brock Purdy's backup because goodness gracious, Sam Darnold. You think you're going to the Super Bowl with that guy? I mean, he needs to be a contending backup because he's done as a starter. It's over. I don't want to see it anymore. Sorry, y'all. I just hate the guy.
So this is awesome. So I didn't think this take was going to be like this when I saw who you wanted to talk about. I thought you were going to talk about somewhere you want him to go so he could actually start. I didn't know this was going to be an anti-Tannehill take.
No, he's done. He's done. I'm so tired of seeing him.
Yeah.
Please be a backup.
I don't know who would trade for him as a backup. I mean, because I would more think someone like the Jets would maybe try to sneak him in as a starter. You know, someone of that capacity, but or maybe New England wants to give him a shot and just throw him on the roster or something like that. But I don't know. Tannehill looks like what's his contract? Did you look at his contract?
I wish I did, honestly. I wish I did. But I love the Jets pick because I want him to get beat out by freaking Zach Wilson. Oh my God, that would be fantastic. I'm so happy he's at the Jets. I want him to go to the Jets immediately. Please, Jets, call him.
So, Cassidy, I want to hear your thoughts on the trade, but I want to open up a question to you boys on this one. Malik versus Bananarama. So, I would like you boys to talk a little bit about that because I am firmly on the Malik side that he's going to end up being a better quarterback. Firmly on his side. Like, I think Malik Willis can actually do something, but he's a year away. Cass, let's hear your thoughts on that.
This is so funny. I didn't get into the document after I put in my pick, and so I didn't know that we were going all Tennessee Titans players. That's so funny. You know, to be honest with you, I don't know enough about Will Levis. I know there was a lot of excitement about him pre-draft. I don't like what I've seen out of Malik Willis in the starts that I've seen him have. So I guess in those situations,
take last year out.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
Take last year out and realize he was a young dude.
Yeah. Maybe he's improved a little bit in the second year. I like to lead with the unknown. Like I think we've seen some Malik. I hope we see something out of Will Levis.
I agree. So What do you think, Smitty, on
I
those
just
two?
kind of choose. I kind of choose Malik just for the rushing upside. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all. I kind of want it to be like a fantasy thing now.
we'll have so much more information after this week.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can't
so
wait.
Tannehill originally had a 4-year, $118 million contract with Tennessee that included $20 million signing bonus, $91 million guaranteed. I'm just trying to find that year. He did that in 2022. So he's got some guaranteed money left on that contract. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can go in a second. So Dub, who's your trade? I think you already said. I think everyone who has listened to this podcast is gonna know about what's about to happen. So let's hear it.
Yeah, 100%. I've been kind of going off about this all year, but I actually want this for a couple reasons. I would like to see, and I want this so much that I got into the document early to make sure I got my pick, but I would like to see the Titans move Derrick Henry. And I want that for a couple reasons. I would like to see Derrick Henry go somewhere, like basically to a better team. I like his usage, it's fine, but I want to see him on a better offense. And I also want to see the gateways open up for Tajay Spears. We love that kid. We want to see him get an opportunity. You said earlier in this podcast that fantasy's better when we have more relevant running backs, and this would go from us having 2 halfway startable running backs to 2 very startable assets. So let's see it. There's teams that make sense. Everyone's kind of saying the Ravens. That would be great. I would love it. But dude, the Browns. It'd be amazing to see him go there. The Bills. Can you imagine? So I would love to see them move Derrick Henry and open up the floodgates. Let's do this.
The Ravens just make so much sense. And especially after last week.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, it just makes so much sense. I really hope that ends up happening there. But some other teams out there. What about Miami? I mean, they're pretty solid in there, but they keep getting some injuries popping up in that backfield.
No. So
What? No.
That's one of those that makes
What
sense,
if
but I don't want to see it for fantasy.
I don't want to see it for fantasy, but what if we give Derrick Henry 12 touches a game and the other boys 12 touches and we have a goal line battle? Man, he's going to win a ring. But Bills and Baltimore, that I'd like to see. Smitty, how do you feel about the Derrick Henry trade?
Yeah, I mean, I love this for Tajay Spears because
What about the Rams?
Rams. I think if we're going to be honest, the Rams do not need to go out and get this guy. It's just not worth it. We love Kyren. We love Indy. I mean, we even love Royce, I guess. So we're just gonna chill with that. We don't need to spend up on anything. It would be cool though, and he would smoke it out there. But nah, I kind of love the Bills because God, Latavius Murray ain't it.
They love Latavius, though. I mean, I don't know about
They
inside.
do.
I'm just talking about from just how they give him the ball.
Yeah,
I mean,
they do. And
They
it's
would
I mean,
love Derrick
Latavius can't do.
I promise
Yeah.
you.
it's hard to watch.
Oh yeah. So what happens to James Cook in that scenario? Are they going to try to?
He'd be a change of pace guy.
You think so? You don't. Oh man.
And I think that's what he's good at anyway. He should be that.
He deserves that. Yeah.
Hey, no, it's not. It's not a bad. That's not an anti-James Cook take. He's fast. He's shifty. He's good at receiving the ball. I mean, he'd be great. Change of pace guy.
So I'm gonna hate when we re-listen to these podcasts at the end of the season, and Tennessee ends up making the playoffs and making a push after we do all this because I'm gonna talk about my guy, and this has nothing to do with fantasy football. Everybody, like this is truly from my heart. Somebody please send Nuke away from the Tennessee Titans. Somebody please send D-Hop somewhere. I don't even care where it's at. I mean, I don't see any reason why the Kansas City Chiefs do not go out and get DeAndre Hopkins. He's just such a system. Like, he's not a deep ball guy anymore, but legitimately, why wouldn't somebody go get him? And his contract's pretty steep. I will give Diop that. He found a way to make the most money possible in the offseason. But there has got to be. And I looked at the Bills too, but Gabe Davis is just too damn good. They don't need him there. But I would love to see him go to Kansas City. I mean, I think that would be incredible that they actually have a wide receiver 1 there. So, I mean, we hate Tennessee. We just want to see them get blown up, boys.
The funny thing is I don't even hate them, but they're a team that, with this injury to Tannehill, it just seems like their season's falling apart, and it just makes so much sense for them to sell. And they already moved their safety, right? It's like it looks like the writing's on the wall, those guys. So
Yeah, they're ready to go. It just makes sense. Maybe next week we'll talk some other trades too. Who knows? And maybe we'll just get off the tight ends because I really didn't realize we were going quite there. So, anybody else want to talk about any other players? Any secondary players that you guys that were in the running to be your number one? We got some time.
Personally, I do want the Rams to get a pass rusher, but I mean, honestly, this ain't the year. This ain't the year for it. But it'd be cool for me to just see that because we need it. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess same thing. Homer take. I kind of think the Broncos should move at least Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton or both.
Ooh.
You know, get some
Yeah.
assets. Let's start moving the needle. You know, make it win.
Are they holding on to Patrick Surtain? Are they? I mean, is that like a no trade guy?
I think he's a franchise guy, dude.
So number two for me was Devontae Adams, and it had everything to do about how coaches lie, how the team lied to him. They sold out his best friend. That was the reason he went there. And then they come out last week and say, we will not trade Devontae Adams. Get out of here. You will if the price is right.
I would love to
But
see him move.
I know. Anywhere.
I would love to see that in Kansas City, but there is no way the Raiders trade. There is no way.
Give them the ring.
Oh, that would just be incredible. So on the other side of it, so these are players we want to trade. I want to take some time to welcome some people into fantasy football. So let's just jump on to this next segment on welcome to fantasy football. So, there's obviously some players throughout the first 7 weeks, 8 weeks that just haven't played well. Rookies, maybe some other players that have been injured. But who do y'all want to welcome into fantasy football finally for the year? Smitty, who do you got into welcome to fantasy football?
I think a couple weeks ago,
Did you freeze, homie?
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, here we go. Let's roll.
Okay. Ooh, that was scary. So last week, 2 weeks ago, actually, he said, "Hey, let's relax on the Ram stock." So here's like my little, what do you call it? My little way around this. So Brandon Powell has been a punt returner for the Rams, and he has been like, I'm not going to say phenomenal, but I love the way he was doing. And then this offseason, we kicked off a bunch of players. We cut a bunch of players. The Vikings picked him up. Now, without JJ, Brandon Powell, who was originally a receiver, is now in their starting receiver core. And he had himself a pretty decent game against the 69ers. So I'm so happy he even scoring fantasy points. I'm so happy for the kid. He's one of the bigger reasons why we even had a Super Bowl push. So, I mean, I'm just so proud of Powell. Powell, keep it up. Keep being reliable to Kirk. And just keep scoring points. Maybe I'll put you on my bench one day.
Bro, I know depth rosters pretty much almost better than anybody. I mean, I legitimately jumped onto this podcast before we started and said, who the hell is Brandon Powell?
right, exactly. And this fool got 15 points last week.
That is a perfect welcome to fantasy football segment. I love it. Dub, who do you got? Who are you welcoming in fantasy football this week?
That was a shocker. There were so many guys that we've been waiting to show up, on our fantasy rosters that became relevant last week. And Smitty picked somebody that nobody's ever heard of. It's just...
Sorry, it was a deep homework thing.
And of course it was a Rams. I'll give you a break. I cut you off for 2 weeks for Rams, and this was the second week. But since we're doing this segment, I'll cut you a break, Smitty.
Thank you.
There was a lot of non-Rams players that I thought we were going to talk about, but that's fine. Listen, dude, JSN, welcome to Fantasy Buddy. I still think that, the depth chart is still a little clogged up ahead of him, but we're seeing his snap shares go up every week. We're seeing the targets go up. We saw the touchdown, so it was kind of like a little mini breakout. But I do honestly think that his injury really played a role into him not getting the usage that we wanted to see in the first half of the season. We know rookie wide receivers come on in the second half of the season. I think that, Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison have kind of like distorted, our perception of reality this year, because it's like you don't usually see guys come on that fast. But we know that JSN is good. I will say though, this is interesting. I looked into this, and your boy Bobo actually got more snaps than JSN did last week. They had the same targets, they had the same receptions. They actually both got touchdowns. So it's kind of interesting, that usage. But we know JSN is great, and he's coming on the scene. So welcome in, kid.
Yeah, so Bobo looked like he belonged on a fantasy football field. JSN looked like he has the ability to be elite on a fantasy football field.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he reminded me a lot of like a Keenan Allen type on the field. He was that underneath guy where he's going to start in that 10 to 20 yard range. But as soon as he touched the ball, I mean, you could see like he's going to start taking some to the house here and there. So, by the way, I specifically have in our notes, I swear to God that it says I'm talking about JSN here. So I have to completely pivot.
Oh, I did not know that. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's all good. I'm going to completely pivot. Holy crap. But yeah, you totally live jacked me. So I agree with the JSN take. Smitty, how do you feel about JSN and welcome him to fantasy football? Because I thought he looked great yesterday or last week.
I mean, it's about time. I think he was the first receiver pick in the NFL draft. So we've been waiting for this for a long time. I mean, a lot of people drafted him in redraft, so it's happy to see that finally pay off. Finally.
Yeah,
Excited for the
no.
guy.
Absolutely fantastic.
I got the
Now,
middle names on the tip of my tongue if you need help.
no, it's good. It's good. I can wing anything, Cass. You should know that by now. So one, we already kind of talked a little bit about Jonathan Taylor for a welcome back player into fantasy, but you know what? I sent you boys a text message to talk about Bryce Young last week, and I know Bryce Young had his bye last week. But I texted you boys this last week that we need to welcome into fantasy football because Bryce Young looks pretty darn good on a football field right now. The game's not too fast for him any longer like it was those first 3 or 4 games. His decision making has been much better. He's making our old man Thielen, he's making him legitimate top 5 wide receiver. But you know what? We forgot to do this, Bryce Young, and we apologize as a podcast that we should have had a lot more kind words to you when you put up 28.23 points to Detroit in Week 5 and was the QB 8. Miami Week 6, he was a QB 17 at 17.8. That's awesome. We're in a super flex lead, so you know what? We're getting top 20 QB play. We're pretty happy. But right now, Bryce Young, for a rookie, had a horrible start to his first 3 or 4 games. He's sitting the quarterback 30 right now, and I'm betting you he's going to drop down into a good, solid QB2 by the end of the year. So welcome in, Bryce Young. You have no weapons except a 90-year-old man, and you know what? You're doing it up. So cheers. Welcome into fantasy football. Anything you want to say about Mr. Bryce Young? Anybody? I'll start with you, Mr. Smitty.
Yeah, number 1 pick overall. I'm glad he's finally showing up. Just happy for them, really.
Yeah, no, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. What about you? You think Bryce Young's looking like he belongs, Cassidy?
He is the perfect welcome to fantasy football because it's a reminder that you got to throw out sometimes those first couple weeks of the season with these rookies because my bias towards him was kind of skewed. Like I didn't like what I saw week 1, week 2, week 3, but you got to throw that out the window, man. He's figuring it out. So welcome in.
Who are the other couple you had on your list there, Cass?
You named them. So JSN, Taylor, and Young. Oh, and then the one more I don't want to forget is Jahmyr Gibbs. Yep, we finally got to see him get the usage we wanted, and he looked great when he got the usage. And I don't think we ever questioned the talent, but when he got the opportunity, he looked really good.
Yeah, I watched that game. The top half of it didn't look too good, and then all of a sudden you text me something about Gibbs. I'm like, what happened? I start looking up. I'm like, oh, he's finally doing it. We almost forgot about Gibbs. So,
yeah,
welcome in.
Totally, is when they started throwing him the ball, and that's where he excels.
Yeah. So perfect. So we welcomed in. We talked about people we want to trade, guys. No buys this week, so Beach Boys aren't as important this week. I'm surprised. By the way, we had 8 buys last week and none this week. NFL, can you get your shit together for last week, for this week? Would have been perfect. It would have been perfect. Don't let AI and ChatGPT do your own scheduling for you. Sit down and do it. It makes sense. But let's talk some Beach Boys. I love this segment because, we're dealing with injuries out there. We got to get people to fill spots. So if your back's up against the wall this week, Smitty, who do you got that you're saying, you know what, maybe we picked him up off waivers or maybe he was just a stash on somebody's bench for a long time? Who's your Beach Boy this week?
I'm going Tyler Boyd in my game of the week the Cincinnati Bengals versus the San Fran 69ers. Last week, that incredible Monday night game that made me so freaking happy. Kirk Cousins handled that team pretty well with a bunch of rookies and scrubs. So if he can do that, Joe Burrow will annihilate this team. And Tyler Boyd is quietly on an uprise. He's like kind of being reliable, especially down deep. So if I think he's kind of like a perfect break glass in case of emergency. But like you said, not too many, no bye weeks, so no real reason to break glass. But I don't know, if you're in a situation where you need to start a guy, I love Boyd this week. I do. I love any Bengal, frankly.
My back is up against the wall in a few dynasty leagues this week, and I'm just staring at Boyd on my bench, and I'm like, you know what? Steel underpants. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just trust the process. Trust that Joe Burrow is going to throw the football, and at some point, maybe it's to him. I do like the matchup. They're definitely gonna Chase is the priority. So Higgins is still a little injured. We'll see what he's gonna be. I love it. I love that Beach Boy. Dubcast, who do you got for your Beach Boy?
Yeah, man. I'm going to go with Chuba Hubbard. You know, we've seen Miles Sanders be banged up, over the last couple weeks. Hubbard finally got his opportunity, before that bye week. And we saw him come through with 88 rushing yards and a touchdown. He looked great. I think he kind of looks more explosive than Miles Sanders. Coming out of the bye, they're both healthy. People want to know who to start. They want to know, can you start Chuba? And I think so. I think you can throw him in your lineup. I think he's a very good play against Houston.
I'm a Miles Sanders owner in a couple important leagues because, one of my main leagues, I went 0 RB and totally he's killing me. I don't think Miles Sanders is a starter anymore.
Yeah.
I think there's a change.
Excited to see who gets the first snap.
I think this is the last week that he could be a Beach Boy because I think there's a change. Miles Sanders is awful on a football field. I've watched all the games. Like he has no juice. He's making horrible decisions. He's not cutting into lanes that he should. He looks horrible. Smitty, I love it. Do you have Hubbard anywhere, Smitty, that you got to throw in your lineup? Because I'm doing it in a couple dynasties.
To be honest with you, there's a redraft team where I really did need to start, and I chose Sanders, and you guys are kind of making me want to rethink that. So, Chuba it is. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Live advice.
Throw him in there. I'm telling you, this is the last week he is a Beach Boy. He might be the Beach Boy MVP by the time this season's over because there's going to be a change. It's a lot like Warren right now, where I'm staring down that. Najee's a better back than Sanders, but there's a change happening there. Like Warren's not going to be a Beach Boy too much longer. So I had to pivot a little bit this week. So my Beach Boy actually might not be a Beach Boy because I was going to go with Pierre Strong, but Ford might actually play this week. So I'm pivoting live show right now to Devin Singletary. So I think Dameon Pierce has not looked good this year, which really surprised me because he was powerful and had the juice last year, but last game, Devin Singletary played a season-high 34 snaps. That was in Week 6 because they're coming off the bye. He put down 13.2. That was 12 attempts for 46 yards, averaged 4.83 and 2 targets. This week, they are playing Carolina. And let's be real about what this football game is probably going to look like. It's not going to be one that any of us are going to watch. I don't even care if we have fantasy football players in it. Maybe it's the third or fourth TV, but we're not going to a bar saying, I need to see this Carolina-Houston game. It's going to be awful. I don't know who's going to win. But there's going to be touches to be had. So Singletary, I'm throwing in. Go get me 10, 11, 12 points. I'm doing it. You probably can get him off a waiver wire unless you're in our league and somehow we have... Dude, how do we have a 6-person bench? And every single person I'm like, he should be rostered on an 8-person bench. And I pull him up, I'm like, you motherfuckers. So I don't know how it is, but I believe he's rostered somewhere. So how do you guys feel about Singletary this week? And we'll start with you, whoever, Smitty.
I love it. And it sucks because, Dameon Pierce was such a badass last year. And honestly, same for Miles Sanders. So I love both of y'all's pick. Especially because they're running backs. Oh, God. If it's like a PPR situation, just enjoy that. Good picks.
You know me, any man on 53, I'll go find someone that might get some touches. Cass, you good on? What do you think about Singletary? You see a change in that backfield?
It's a good pick. Yeah, I view it very similarly to that Carolina situation where I think that we might be seeing a change, and it's good to get ahead of that. You've had some beat reporters out of Houston come and say that Pierce is a good running back, but he just doesn't fit their system, and Singletary just kind of matches what they're trying to do a little bit better. And maybe that's true. And Singletary was good in Buffalo, so I think given the opportunity, he might show out.
I drafted Singletary in this league for that exact argument right there. They went out and got him. It fits his system. So I do think it's definitely a good pick. Also, if you are a Jeff Wilson owner out there, I know last week I told everyone he's not going to get the touches. They're going to work him back in. Keep an eye on Mostert because this might be a surefire Jeff Wilson week. Don't let last week fool you. That's how they've treated every single back that's come off IR. They've slowly worked them in. So Jeff Wilson might be a really just smash play this week. All right, boys, let's get to the draft. I've been waiting for this one a little bit. We're drafting. All right, guys, we're drafting Halloween like costumes, or basically we're drafting horror movie characters, best horror movie characters.
Damn right.
And I'm going to take off the jacket for this one because I got the 101. I have been so pumped for this 101 because there is only one clear, absolute 101. And boys, we are going with Michael Myers from Halloween.
Yeah, I'm so mad he didn't.
Wow.
So mad.
We're going the 101 here, boys. Michael Myers from Halloween. Who's got the 102? Cassidy, you got the 102.
Dude, I thought for sure that you were going to take the actual 101. Jason Voorhees, dude. Friday the 13th. I mean, let's just go just straight up kill count. Nobody's killed more than Jason. So
he was in the mix for my 102.
Guys,
He was in the mix 100%.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was hoping he would somehow get back to me. I knew he wouldn't. But
Right.
the 101 is obviously a character from the movie actually named Halloween. And by the way,
Right.
I put up Jason. I was looking at both of them. There is exactly 13 Halloween movies and 13 of Friday the 13th. So it was awesome. They were right against each other.
Okay, well then you got to go down to kill count, dude. I'm telling you, I looked into this. Michael Myers has killed 160, and Jason Voorhees has killed 163.
So I would like to Google how many times somebody has died and come back to life for another movie because I know they're 13, but I believe Mike Myers has been resurrected way more times. And he can double as Austin Powers. So, Smitty, you got the 103. Who's the 103?
Man, I'm just so jealous with how many stats y'all brought to this. I gotta go Freddy Krueger because, frankly, the way
Nice.
Freddy Krueger kills is absolutely fucking terrifying. I mean, he can just show up in your dreams and just to say hello, and that ruins my entire month, if not year. I mean, just straight paranoia, looking around like, oh my god, is that creepy character from my dream around? And then one day he can just show up and actually kill me. Like, the way he kills is incredibly terrifying. I understand a big knife, a big machete. That's that's very straight up.
No.
He guts you, dude.
He guts you.
He
Yeah,
straight
that
guts
sucks.
you.
That sucks. I really
Kruger's
don't want
the
to
third
die
pick,
that way.
dude. I was hoping he'd come back, but Kruger's the guy.
Those were clear and obvious 101 through 103. However you want to stack that. And Smitty, I'm kind of going with the whole. You might have. I mean, how he kills. You are correct. That's terrifying. You can't freaking fall asleep. That sucks.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
And by the way, those were Nightmare on Elm Street were my favorite out of the horror movies. So good pick.
really?
Who do you got for the 201?
Mine too.
The 201. Oh my god. Okay, we got one. The guy with the craziest family that clearly loves each other, even though they don't, or have a twisted way of showing it. I'm going Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, sick.
I love that series so much because that is a nutty family, crazy ass family. And Leatherface, I mean, I just want to know. I want a movie where we just are in his brain for the entire time.
So that movie is specifically why I don't drive through Texas or go to Texas. I don't know why, but my viewpoint of Texas is that movie. I will never go to Texas. Legitimately. Will never go to freaking Texas. That movie is terrifying to think about. Terrifying, bro.
Right. Right.
That's awesome.
And the chainsaw sound alone, oh, kill me now, because I don't want to deal with that. I don't even want to see it. If I hear it, I just might, have to commit the suicide. Jesus.
That clearly is one I missed. That you nailed it. I love your draft so far. Cassidy, you're up, man. Who you got? 202.
Well, I told you I looked into kill counts, and actually, talking to me, there is one horror movie villain that is head and shoulders above the rest. It's not even close. Dude, Pinhead from Hellraiser, he has 321 kills. He is... Dude, he is the most evil of the horror movie villains by far. So...
Oh my god, I am so mad you picked that. I thought there was no way Hellraiser wasn't coming back to me, dude.
Yeah.
Those movies were terrifying, dude. Oh.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
It's a
Strong
great pick,
at
and
the
I did not
202.
know.
But you
I
get
did
two
not know that
picks
kill
back
count.
to
That
back,
kill count
dude.
is insane. Insane value. Oh my god.
I can't believe you looked up kill count, bro. I didn't even think about that. That's absolutely. But there's one that I had in case you boys took. One Hellraiser. But now that I'm up on my 203 pick,
Oh, look at this.
I really want to
Oh
play a game
no!
with
No,
you.
you snaked me! You snaked me!
No!
I thought for sure he was coming back.
Nope. Nope.
Right
God.
now. That's crazy.
This is terrifying, boys. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm just so mad.
This would
Me
be
too. I'm so
terrifying
mad.
to wake up and have to choice to saw your own damn hand off. And these movies are absolutely epic. I watched them all until like 10, but solid. So, definitely going, I don't even know what that name is, but we're going there. Now, for my
Jigsaw.
last pick, since I've got the turn, I'm not thinking about a kill count. I'm just thinking about an epic character that will be in our lives till the end of time.
Dude, you have the collection here. I
God
love
damn
it.
you!
Oh,
No!
Yes, we're doing it. Welcome in. There's my three
Best day
picks.
ever.
I clearly have won this draft, boys. So,
I
well,
think
you know, let's go. I don't even know who's up. Cassidy, you're up. I snaked you twice. Let's roll.
Ghostface and Jigsaw were next on my board. I'm really mad that both those guys are gone, especially because when I was a kid, Friday the 13th were my favorite movies, but as an adult, it's Saw. I like the Saw movies the most. They're the most fucked up. So,
Hey, hold up. Can I talk about Saw real quick? One of my
Yeah.
underrated favorite things about Saw is that the people that do actually play the game and survive within the time limit or whatever, their lives are completely changed for the better. Because they completely have a new leash on life. And they're like, oh man, I no longer want to rob banks. Now I want to help. Like, Jigsaw is low-key an anti-hero. Like, shout out to
He's a total hero, bro.
yeah.
He's a
total hero. Shout out to
Yeah.
man. Great pick.
Yeah, you heard it here. Jigsaw's a hero. Man.
all right, we've taken this down the rabbit hole. Smith, did you even pick Cassidy? I don't even know. This is
I'm
great.
sorry about I'm sorry about that.
No, I'm up next. I've got the 302. The next is actually a personal favorite. I've always been a Stephen King fan. I'm going to go Pennywise. Pennywise the Clown in the third round.
I'm so glad someone picked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, you guys haven't noticed that I've been telling you what my 101 is all episode?
Oh, yeah. Nice. It was right there. Oh, my God. It was right there.
It was right there the whole episode.
Yeah.
Nicely
I don't know if
done.
you boys have noticed I love Halloween.
Dude, I
But-
love the fact that you love Halloween. This is
I love that
easily
you had all the
funnest
masks.
holiday.
That was amazing.
Oh my god, right?
Pennywise, I love it. Who are you closing us with here, Smitty?
This guy's he's more of a cult favorite, but I'm gonna go with Art the Clown from this Terrifier series. There's I think 2 movies, and then
Great pick.
he has a brief appearance in some other thing. But yeah, this is a goofy ass clown. I mean, well, he's not goofy. He's just kind of childish. The way he kills people is ridiculous. Because he usually stabs, but when he pulls out the gun and shoots you, I die laughing because he's more of a melee type of guy, and he's a little creative and childish as hell with the stabbings. But when he pulls out a gun and shoots you, I'm just like, that was random as fuck. Okay, now we know you
Dude.
shoot people.
That's a great pick. Boys, we killed it. For anyone, let's just read ours off. Let us know who won this draft. Also, guys, throw it in the chat. But Seriously, my picks all down the line. What did I go with? I went with Michael Myers. I went with Jigsaw. And I went with Ghostface. Smitty, read your 3.
Freddy Krueger. Oh no, I forgot my round 2. Crap, do you guys remember? I literally just forgot.
Yeah, I've got you. You went Leatherface.
Leatherface, yeah.
Leatherface and Art the Clown. There we go. Thank you.
No problem. All right, guys. I've got Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th at the 102. And then I took Pinhead from Hellraiser at the 202 and closed it out with Pennywise in the middle of the 3rd round.
I love it. We got to get off this. It's been an hour. My face is a fucking mess if anyone is watching this at this point. We're going to close this one out with the greatest Halloween song ever, the Monster Mash. We started with that.
Yeah.
But join us next week. We're drafting best hip-hop songs of the 90s. Let's roll. Cheers, good luck, and thank you for spending some time and get down with the Monster Mash, baby. Cheers.